Hi, Aquarius. How are you? How are you, my friend? I'm so grateful to be spending this precious time with you today. And I hope that this reading finds you well. I hope you've been taking excellent care of yourself. And I'm ready to just kind of jump in and see what the universe has for you specifically today. Okay? So I want to mention, I've already prayed and meditated over this reading. And I had to stop it, actually. I had to completely... I started the reading just like a minute in, and then I had to reboot the computer because there was some funky things going on. And while I was waiting, I felt drawn to use a deck that I don't think I've used it on this channel or my other channel before. But it is a botanical deck, and it's very esoteric. Every card, especially in the major arcana, has its own symbol. It doesn't have any words on it. And so I still have to, when I use it, look up, like, what does the symbol represent? What card is this in the major arcana? And so the first card that you got was the 9 of Pentacles. But before that came out, the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Cups kept like peeking through as I was shuffling. And then when the 9 of Pentacles came out, I looked at the bottom of the deck and it was the 5 of Pentacles, or the 5 of Cups there still. I feel like it's the same energy because I keep saying 5 of Pentacles. Like the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Pentacles are very similar in their grief, in their feelings of hopelessness. And so I feel like there's been, emotionally, there's been a hopeless feeling going on, maybe even physically, financially. There's been a hopelessness that's kind of permeated things for a while. I don't feel like this is a new energy. I think this is something that you have been wrestling with for a while. But the overall energy of your reading is the 9 of Pentacles. So we might get more cards from that deck. We'll just see, because like I said, I have to research every card because it's just incredibly esoteric. So this one, the flowers on it are called purple saxifrage. I'm completely unfamiliar with that flower. The divinatory meaning of the 9 of Pentacles is solitary enjoyment of the good things in life, wisdom where one's own interests lie. So this flower grows in extreme conditions, much like you having to grow through that 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles energy. Blooming at higher altitudes than any other flower on earth. Oh, that feels very Aquarian. It symbolizes beauty in the rough and is the symbolic flower of Nordland. So the coins are pennings, the first minted coins in Norway. Doing something, so I get from that, it does feel very Aquarian. Doing something unique that's harder than things that other people do, and having to kind of bloom through challenging conditions. I think it's often looked over that the Aquarian sign is in the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere where I reside. It comes right after Capricorn, and Capricorn is the peak of winter, the winter solstice, and Aquarius is still in that winter energy, but it's looking forward towards spring. It's moving towards spring instead of towards fall. So even in the midst of challenging conditions, there is this higher growth you're able to achieve because you have a higher level of awareness. I would almost say that if I keep fighting for a cause, even if that cause is my own well-being, eventually this is going to pay off. Eventually I'm going to get somewhere. And I think it's a beautiful thing that the overall message energy of your reading is the 9 of Pentacles card. It's one of my favorite cards. It talks about independence, healthy independence in a multitude of ways. So let me switch the view here so we can just shuffle some cards and really get into this message. I want to get further messages with one of my favorite decks I'm using here lately. I hope you're not sick of me talking about it, because I love this deck. Even though it is probably the hardest deck to shuffle that I own. I love this deck. It's very special to me. It was given to me by a very special friend of my family. It also glows under a black light. Maybe I need to do a reading soon where I showcase that. You know, so the images shift and have a completely different vibe under the black light. It's very, very cool. All right. Spirit team for Aquarius. Can we have a card or two? Ooh, thank you. From this deck. Anything else from this deck? I am feeling this one. Really, this many? Okay. Let's see what's at the bottom. Look, 4 of Wands. Okay, this confirms the energy I was feeling from that 9 of Pentacles. So it's coming from, it's as if you're coming from a very, very long, challenging period of self-growth and inner work. Very hermit energy, quite frankly. And hermit is the number 9 card as I'm touching the 9 of Pentacles. 9s are about almost reaching the end of something. Yeah, the Hanged Man. A very similar energy. Justice. 2 of Swords. 6 of Swords. Yes. Yes, yes. We're moving away from that 5 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles energy. I need to find room here. And our final card here. Just make some room. We can fit. The Chariot. How beautiful. I am obsessed with this reading for you already. This is so, so good. Not forgetting we have the 4 of Wands at the bottom of this particular deck. I got to show you this because this is really something. We have, hopefully you can see, an X crossing the 2 of Swords chest. Okay. Isolation, guarding your energy. And Justice has across this chest too. Also has a blindfold on, and historically the 2 of Swords has a blindfold on. So this is really interesting because I feel as though there was some pretty deep emotional wounding. Okay, we're going to go deep here, so just bear with me. There was some pretty deep emotional wounding that I think stems from childhood stuff, very early adolescence, that has kept you, you know, where you have really leaned into that Aquarian detachment that is easy for you to access. It is easier for you to access that than other signs, than say like a Cancer or something, or a Scorpio. I don't know. Scorpio might not, like a Cancer. You can access this detachment. You're guarding your heart, your emotional body, your energy, and you have a blinder on because you don't really want to see what's going on. But at the root of this guarding yourself from past hurts, just like the 5 of Cups, from a feeling of grief, of hopelessness, of wounding, you have kept yourself detached from a lot of good things. And this was self-preservation. But there's also been enlightenment here, because on this 2 of Swords, she doesn't have a blindfold on. There was an enlightenment here. Enlightenment with the Hanged Man, where you realize I'm missing out on joy. It was an expansion in your consciousness where you realized that there were things that were holding you back, where you're missing out on joy in your life. And you have made this very conscious effort to release those straps, those boundaries, those guards you've had over your heart, over your emotional body, over your ability to see what's going on around you. And this is leading you very quickly to a very abundant and secure energy, I want to say, where there's more calmness in your life, but also more feelings of success. I think you're succeeding at many things now, and maybe overcoming fears or trying new things, taking on new challenges that just a couple years ago you would have scoffed at. You would have had no desire to even look at that. Like, nope, that's not for me. I'm not doing that. No, I don't even care how much you might want to convince me. You made up your mind before you made up your mind. And it was deeply attached to fear and wounding from a very vulnerable place in your childhood. But you're moving out of that. There were things, I think, that you kept hidden. It's not that they weren't probably very prevalent in your mind nearly every day. Hurts and pains probably popped into your mind more often than not. But to the world, you were not sharing these things until maybe in the sort of recent future. And I say that maybe from the last 3 years, you're starting to speak about these things. Like, hey, this happened and this wounded me and this made me not trust and this made me afraid and this made me feel, XYZ. But your willingness, this expansion, this enlightenment that you have had, this willingness to go within and say, I'm going to sacrifice this feeling of fear that I live with in order to hopefully experience joy, because I want to experience joy. I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of doing the same thing day after day, of feeling hopeless, like something's never going to happen for me, something's never going to work out for me. And now you're like cutting those binds, self-inflicted. Not totally. I take that back. I think the duration for the amount of time that these binds were on you was sort of self-inflicted in a self-preservation kind of way, but it's not that you did those things to yourself. It's very clear to me that other people did these things to you. So I want to be clear in that distinction. I think it's more the length of time that you just could not fathom taking down those walls, those boundaries. You know what I see when I look at these X's is like when there's a crime scene. I mean, this is very gory. I don't mean it like that. But when there's a crime scene and they put the tape up around like a building or an area around the trees and stuff so people know not to go in there, it's almost like that was your energy. And I think this is so harsh, and I just want to wrap you in a hug if this was your situation, but I think the things that happened to you were so horrifying and awful and painful that it was very much like you protecting that innermost part of you, like it was a crime scene. Like, you cannot enter here. This has not been cleaned up. This has not been healed yet. And I'm just going to leave it there because I cannot deal with it and you cannot go in. But that's changed. And this is directly affecting your ability to allow people in to share the things that hurt you, to work through and heal things that you've been carrying for such a very long time. It's like actively moving you into an environment, energetically or otherwise, that is much more healing for you, that is so much freer. Like, as I tap into that energy, it's like a deep breath, like, oh, I'm not holding my breath all the time anymore. And this candle just went out. Like, I'm not carrying that torch anymore of pain. I can release this. I can let it go. I can breathe finally because I said it out loud. I told people about it. I'm working on, not letting that affect how I treat other people or my judgment of things. I'm trying new things. It's so good. It's so good, and it's so much more balanced. It's so much more calm. And I think that you're finally looking at yourself and liking what you see. I think it's a long road, and it's very challenging because for some of you, I get this feeling that a part of what you have been experiencing of not liking yourself, not liking what you saw internally or externally was, I don't know, this is very deep. Maybe a way to punish yourself because you feel guilt or shame about the ways in which people hurt you. But I just keep getting, it was never yours to carry. It was never yours to carry. And you are releasing that baggage. That's what I get from these cards. You're taking off the blindfold. You're concentrating on how can I be better today? How can I be better tomorrow? You're allowing people in. You're allowing light in. Yes, you are allowing light into your life where it was restricted before. You were almost a prisoner to yourself. You were almost a prisoner to yourself. But you've been working very hard on cutting those cords and allowing yourself to see yourself and love yourself and heal yourself. And I think maybe you've even done this work and are doing this work in maybe kind of like unconventional ways. That to some people it might be like, well, that's not how you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to go to therapy. And trust me, I am not dogging therapy. Therapy is for everyone. Please go to therapy. Therapy saved my life. I am the biggest proponent of therapy. But as an example, it's as if someone is saying to you, you're supposed to do it like this, but you're doing it in a very different way. And how could you not? That's your energy. You're going to do it in the way that resonates for you, even if it doesn't look right, quote unquote, to 100 people. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's working for you. And that's what matters. So yeah, I feel like you're doing something in a different way. These bats are really standing out to me on this card. Let's see if you can see it a little closer. And bats are about rebirth for me. And I really believe that, you are in a very potent rebirth period of your life of figuring out, who am I without this hurt? It's not that those scars aren't there. It's not that it hasn't helped shape who you are as a person, but the weight of the grief, of the pain and the shame is dissipating. That's what you're working on. And it's working. I want to try, so if you can bear with me, can we get some more information, please, from this botanical deck? So maybe you're really into flowers, because I just felt so called to use this deck for your reading. Maybe the uniqueness of plant life is something that sparks joy in you, that you really enjoy. Can we have some more clarity on this reading, please? We got one card. I think they're going easy on me because I don't know. Interesting. The Four of Cups. Yeah, I feel like you were pretty over it, and it kind of forced you into this hanged man energy of, I've got to fix something here. I can't keep going the way that I'm going. I deserve to feel joy. I deserve to have happy, healthy relationships with other people and things in my life. All right, let's read the Four of Cups here. I'm only going to do a few of these because they're so... Hang on. Yeah, Four of Cups. Okay. Me and my Roman numerals. All right. The pitcher plant. The divinatory meaning opportunities are abundant, but one may need to focus inward before making any decisions. Okay. Pitcher plants are carnivorous. They attract flies and consume their nutrients by dissolving them in liquid. The cups are labu sayang. Oh, I see. Traditional water pitchers from Malaysia, where many pitcher plants are found. I think for someone, I'm kind of intuitively getting that like heat, warm places by the water where the sun really soaks into your skin, where there's maybe exotic foliage, is really healing for you. I think even the mere idea of like, what would that feel like to be in this place is so immensely healing to your spirit. And if you have the opportunity, which I mean, everyone's in different financial places, but if you have an opportunity to travel to a place like that has like even just exotic from where you live, go to a place where it's hot and you can feel the heat soak into your skin and you can see these different beautiful natural wonders of the world, would be incredibly healing. But there is something here where the carnivorousness of the pitcher plant is interesting in the energy that I'm getting from you, because I think that was a way that you kind of protected yourself. And what I mean to say is I think in the past, perhaps the way you dealt with people or communicated could have been quite sharp or biting, where it's like, I'm going to bite you before you can bite me kind of energy. If you even just like it, and carnivorous plants are very sensitive. They have these little hairs or whatever to sense if something is about to like crawl. Like I know that the Venus flytrap is that way because I had a plant like that for many years. So I feel like you were very tuned in because of traumas that you had endured in your past. And if there was even the slightest hint of someone maybe saying something cutting or that might hurt you, it was like, no, I'm going to get you first. And this was, again, this protective mechanism to kind of keep people at bay. But you're moving out of that. This is what all this inner work you have been doing is talking about. Can we have some more clarity, please, Spirit? More clarity on this reading for Aquarius, please. Just look at how gorgeous these cards are. There's gold foil on the edges, on the back of each card. More clarity for Aquarius, please. Thank you. All right, this is reversed. 5 of Swords reversed. It's more of that same energy. Let's see here. Stinging nettle. Isn't that what we were just talking about? It was reversed, but I'm going to hold it up. Stinging nettle. It says degradation, cruelty, recklessness leading to one's own defeat, disdain of others is what this card says upright. However, it came out reversed. And the reverse message is a turning point, a chance to mend bridges before it's too late, and fear of failure. Wow. Because that is the energy I'm getting for you. It was as if you knew that you were on the brink of like not having joyful, healing, abundant relationships, meaningful relationships in your life. And you're like, I have to fix this. I have to figure this out. I have to go within. I can't operate at this way anymore. And it says, the burning, inflammatory quality of this plant is why it's known as a symbol for cruelty and pain. This quality also gave it something of a protective nature too, and people wore it in times of danger to ward off evil influences. The swords are dirks, as nettles were a part of Scottish textiles until the 18th century. I mean, I feel like that just validates everything else that we were feeling, and that you recognize, like, it is such a huge thing that you recognize this about yourself, and in spite of your grief and pain and fear, you chose to do the hard work and open your heart again, to allow yourself to feel, to allow yourself to connect, to allow yourself to say, I'm sorry. I mean, this is enormous. This is not some small thing. You have literally changed the trajectory of your life by choosing to do this very important, challenging work to heal yourself, to see yourself, to love yourself more fully, to open up your heart. This is incredible. Can we get maybe one more clarifying card, please, here for Aquarius? One more clarifying card, please. Oh my. Well, they gave us 4. I guess we needed those, so we'll just work through them. That's okay. All right, the first one is the Queen of Pentacles. This is where you are now. Yeah. This is abundant. This is healing. This is nourishing. This is having all that you need materially and in your relationships. We have 8 of Cups. Yes, you're walking away. Let's see. I think this is the Hierophant, but we'll have to check because, and the 5 of Cups again. Okay. I'm going to start out reading the 5 of Cups because it's come out so many times for you. The 5 of Cups is Lily of the Valley. Isn't that poisonous? It says a break from dependency on others. One self needs to be enough, defending one's inner sanctum. These flowers symbolize the return of happiness, and their white, bowing blooms embody humility. The cups are a nod to the rough-hewn ciborium from Pamela Coleman Smith's cards. A return of happiness. This is what this is about. That's what this whole reading is about. You returning to happiness because of how hard you have worked to shift your psyche, to heal yourself. You were walking away from that old boundary setting. Don't let anyone in. I'll bite you before you bite me first kind of thing. The toxic ways in which we can think that we're protecting ourselves, which when it's actually self-sabotaging. Let's see what this major arcana, I think it's the Hierophant. It's the Emperor. Oh, even better. Dominion, a power being exerted, an organizer, a leader, the positive results of hard work. Could this be any more? I mean, really. And this is John the Conqueror root, is what this particular flower is. It says the Emperor card. The Emperor is a card of power and intelligence, the union of the qualities of the magician made whole by those of the high priestess. Where the magician is unlimited potential, the Emperor claims power. That's what you're doing. You are claiming your power again in healthy, healed ways. John the Conqueror root is used in love potions and amulets of virility and luck, and as its root resembles a symbol of masculinity. I mean, it's like taking the bull by the horns, and taking accountability for yourself. You didn't deserve what happened to you in the past, but you realize how powerful you are now to take control of that situation and change the narrative. And this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. I'm going to read the Queen of Pentacles and then maybe get you one little oracle card and we will call it, I think. Also, I just looked at this. The publisher of this is Beehive Books. So bees might be significant to you. They might be an important symbol to you or very, very beloved by you. But all of this has very nature, flower, bees. Like bees also make me think of honey, like abundance, and that connects with the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Actually, I'm going to read you the Queen of Pentacles, and then I want to get a little more information before we end the reading on what exactly this abundance that they keep bringing up is. Okay. So the Queen of Pentacles is chrysanthemum, magnificence, a stately person of power, generosity, and nurturing. These flowers represented the royal family in Japan and were cultivated to promote growth in a singular, ostentatious bloom. The symbol is Himiko's necklace with a magatama. I don't know what that is. One of the 3 symbols of Japanese royalty. Wow. They're telling me to look at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, 2 of Pentacles. You've balanced this. And that looks like a lotus. And you know, lotus flowers are so incredible. And I think this is honestly the perfect example of who you are. Lotuses grow through the mud. They push through the mud, through the dirt, through all the junk and debris. And when they bloom, they are pristine. There is not a drop of mud on them. They are pristine. And this is your story arc. This is who you are. You have pushed through the mud and the challenges and the junk that people in life has thrown at you. And you have come out of this pristine. It's so incredible to see someone like you who has done this very hard work. I'm going to use a different deck just to kind of clarify here. Can we have some more information, Spirit? Can we have some more information on what is this Nine of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles energy that Aquarius is moving into? What's it look like? Can we have some clarity on this, please? What is this? 4 of Wands. That was at the bottom of this deck. Oh my gosh. Joy, celebration. This card literally says the universe brings all I need to feel blissful. Then we have the 9 of Wands with the 9 of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. There's some new opportunity that is going to really directly affect your finances, where you don't have to be so strong and resilient anymore because you've put in so much work. You're going to be able to do something that I think you love. I think in the past, maybe you were stuck doing things to bring in, resources that really dragged you down, that you maybe even hated. And there's something about your energy opening up and softening and the nurturing that you embody now that's allowing for this very blissful, celebratory opportunity to come your way that checks a lot of boxes and gives you more time to just be in your own energy, to be soft, to enjoy nature, to enjoy the things that bring you joy. I feel like a very significant ending coming up for you, but it's a good one. It's a joyful, celebratory ending. And I can see you and your loved ones, your family, rejoicing over whatever this ending is. But it directly affects you. It allows more room for personal growth, more room to connect with your higher self and all that is, because your finances are more balanced, your relationships you are more balanced. Yes. Oh, wow. You have to let me know what this is when it comes in, because this is an incredible reading. All right, Spirit, let's put a little affirmation cap on this reading for Aquarius. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And I just want to reiterate how strong you are, because it is hard to do the work that you have done. I am magnetic to what I want. I repel what I do not want. And this is the supermoon card. Now, these readings are timeless, but I am recording this on May 20th, 2026. And at the end of this month is a supermoon in Sagittarius. If you have any Sagittarius placements, it doesn't really matter, but if you do, it just kind of heightens that energy for you personally. But I would really recommend doing some kind of releasing ritual related to the stuff we're talking about on that super moon, blue moon, super blue moon at the end of the month. And then it says, I am connected to the earth and all life around me. That is, honestly, that is what I would consider the affirmation for the Queen of Pentacles. And that is the energy you are embodying right now, that Queen of Pentacles energy. This is connected to Moon Goddess Artemis. I kind of feel like we should look that up before we end your reading. I'm sorry. Moon Goddess Artemis. And finally, failure is only learning. I move with confidence and resilience. And I think that is a good way to treat everything in life. Failing is only information. It is not a character flaw. It's nothing to feel shameful about. I tell my children we do affirmations every night. It's very important to me that we do that I can build them up in these positive ways. And one of the affirmations we say is that mistakes help me grow. Because I didn't really grow up in that kind of environment. It was like, no, you need to be perfect at all times, constantly. And that's not realistic or feasible or healthy or helpful. Mistakes are what help us grow. Failure helps us learn. It's only learning. And if you can remember that when you move forward into this new opportunity to go forward with confidence, look at how resilient you are, how supported you are, how capable you are. Of course, we're going to make mistakes as we learn along the way, but it's only learning. And that helps us grow and makes us stronger, better, wiser, more well-rounded individuals. Okay, for those of you who are still with me, I'm going to look up this Moon Goddess Artemis because it was sticking out to me and I think it's worthwhile to look up. So while my computer does its thing here. So the Moon Goddess Artemis is depicted wandering forests, guiding hunters, and carrying a silver bow and a glowing torch. She is heavily connected to nature. She's also connected to dual nature, highly revered as a protector of young children, mothers, and animals. However, she could be incredibly vengeful and unforgiving if angered or disrespected. The Roman equivalent is Diana. She's the daughter of Zeus and the older twin sister of Apollo. Interesting. That's really interesting. So I feel like there's some connection you must have with her because there's this thing here about, incredibly vengeful and unforgiving if feeling slighted or disrespected. And I can tell that this is an energy you have been working on being more balanced in these situations. Maybe this is someone that you should do some more research on, that you're more connected to than you think you are. I mean, she is a moon goddess, and I think you're very connected to the moon, actually. So I think that would be worthwhile added research if you feel called to look into her a little bit more. But that's very, very fascinating. Okay, Aquarius, this is what I have for you. This was such a fascinating reading, and I am so grateful that I get to read for you and channel these messages to you. If you feel called to work with me on a one-on-one personal reading, you can find all that information at my website at thecl.com. Please like, share, or subscribe, hype the video, or leave a comment. I love connecting with you in the comment section on these videos. It means so much to me if you feel called to do that. And more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.